Hey everyone, Average Pat here to sit to chat today about the new movie Robin Hood. This film was released on November 21st and stars Taron Egerton as Robin Hood, or Robin of Locksley, Jamie Foxx as Little John, Ben Mendelsohn as the Sheriff of Nottingham, Eve Hewson as Marion, and Jamie Dornan is playing Will Scarlet, although it doesn't actually say Scarlet in the movie, he's just identified as Will. Initially going into this movie, my immediate thought was, why? There really was no reason to remake Robin Hood yet again. This is, how many times have they redone it with different casts, different people, different ideas? And the way they went about this one really was not impressive in my opinion. There's great action scenes, there's great choreography, there's slow motion, there's a lot of neat stuff. However, the storyline itself is so radically different from what's typically known as Robin Hood. To me, it seemed forced to try to make people, I guess, in just an effort to make people go see the movie. In this, obviously, Robin of Locksley is a noble in England at the time. He's drafted to war in the Crusades. I don't know that they had a draft back then. If they did, I'm pretty sure they usually paid off people who were up beneath them, like serfs or anything along those lines, to go take their place for them, so lords never actually had to be in the actual war. However, ignoring that fact, Robin goes to fight in the Crusades, has a couple of crazy experiences while he's in there dealing with the Moors and their legendary ability to fight back. Using weapons that I don't know that they actually had at that time either. Rapid fire crossbows, bolts that went through concrete, it didn't seem a little on the realistic side to me. It seemed a little bit too powerful. Great action sequences, great power, shots. The choreography was amazing. The cinematography on it was good. Just, I don't know that it was fairly accurate. I apologize for my cat jumping into frame at the moment. Sorry. The uniforms, the outfits they had were fairly accurate from what I could tell. There may have been a couple ones where it was a little bit too much, but we'll ignore that for the time being as well. The overall story was modified in the fact that if you did not pay your taxes that the Sheriff of Nottingham required, you were put to work in mines. I don't remember there being mines in the Errol Flynn version or the Kevin Costner version or the any other version, including Carrie Ells in the Men in Tights version. I don't know why they decided to throw that in here. It was, a dark, foreboding place with lots of fire, great dramatic power shots with the camera angles and the lighting. I don't know that it was necessary, though. As for, the typical roles, Friar Tuck was played by Tim Minchin. He did a very good job. I thought he seemed a little on the weak side at some points. He didn't really embrace it as much as many others have in this role. He was more of a personal friend of Robin in this one as opposed to a devout man of the cloth. He was obviously still a man of the cloth, but he seemed more of a personal friend than anything else. F. Murray Abraham with a surprise role playing the Cardinal in this one. F. Murray Abraham's a powerhouse. I mean, you can't really insult the man in anything he's ever done. I don't really know that his power was necessary in a movie like this. He brought his authority and his ability to act and his foreboding presence, if you will. I don't necessarily know that it was a necessary presence. I think they tried to stack it just so they had more people, more big names in the actual film itself. Visually, graphics-wise, the camera angles, the lighting, everything, I'd give it a phenomenal. It was beautiful. Story-wise, I would have to say this one's probably going to be my lowest so far. I'm only going to give this one a 2.5. They left it open for a sequel. There's, modern Hollywood really doesn't have just a cut and dried, here's a story, that's it. Here's a story we want to make more money off it, come see the second one that we're forcing on you that really isn't necessary to make. It's kind of what they're doing with darn near everything nowadays. And this one was no exception. The action sequences, like I said, were filmed very well. They have imitations of The Matrix with slow motion in some of the scenes. Not, the famous bend over backwards by Keanu Reeves, but the movement around the actual scene while stuff is flying through the air was quite done well. in the homage to the Matrix, obviously. Again, overall, I'd only give it a 2.5 out of 5. It was disappointing. I went to see it just out of hope that they would have done something neat and modernized it a little bit, made it a little bit better. Unfortunately, they did not. They failed to deliver, in my opinion. Overall, like I said, the performances were decent from all the main people. I mean, the main issue that I have with the overall story is people were walking in and out of scenes and into places and nobody questioned them. Yeah, I know it makes the story go well, but how do you explain Jamie Foxx's character, who's a Moor, walking through the streets of England and walking around one of these mines with nobody trying to figure out who he is or why he's there? Stuff like that, little things like that over time throughout the whole movie got to a point where it was actually laughable at some of the things that they got away with, in my opinion, obviously. So overall, I give it a 2.5 out of 5. If you like my reviews, if you appreciate what I'm doing, you want to give me a like, a shout out, a comment, please feel free to do. Like my Facebook page, like the posts, comment on any of my posts. Hopefully people are enjoying them. I'd like to see more people appreciate them and be able to expand more as I go further. I got plenty more movies to review, plenty of movies coming out this month that I hope to get involved with and to review, and look forward to making more for you guys. Thank you. Have a wonderful night.